Welcome back. Today I'm trying to turn a vision in my head into a cheap DIY cable dispenser that's portable. For this first design, I've designed it to hold 3 of the larger reels of twin core across the bottom, probably in 3 different sizes, and then 6 rolls of 7.5, 15 and 25 amp in black and red, so there'll be matching pairs across the top. The whole thing cost about $52 to make. All the bits you can get from Bunnings. I'll throw everything in the description below, along with a whole cut list of all the sizes. So it's just gonna be like Lego. Cut it up, slap it together, done. Probably take you less than an hour. All you need is basic hand tools. If you don't have pressure, pipe, cement, or non-pressure, doesn't matter what you use, but I usually go for the clear stuff, just to make it a bit neater. That's only about $5 from Bunnings. And if you want the cutters to make it a bit easier, $17.50 I think they were from Bunnings. Otherwise you just use a hacksaw or a handsaw. Righto, let's get back to the start and I'll show you how I threw all this together.
Flashback.
The tooling you need to make this is really simple. Like, I'd be surprised if you don't have this at home. Pretty much all you need is a tape measure, a marking pen. You can use a rubber mallet, soft blow hammer, or you can just push the pipe together by pushing it hard on the concrete. So that's optional. Handsaw, hacksaw, any type of saw that'll cut through PVC. It's not that hard to cut through, but I highly recommend these. $17.50 from Bunnings. A lot neater cut, more precise, and easy to do, less mess, or no mess. You need some split pins, 4 of them, or you could use zip ties, or you could use wire. You could cut up a coat hanger, welding wire, pretty much anything, wouldn't matter. Some PVC cement. I'm using this one because it's clear, so it just looks a bit neater. It's like $5. If you're gonna cut the pieces with a hacksaw, I recommend some sort of steel with a square edge, like a ruler, or this is an actual plastic scraper. So just so when you hacksaw through these, you can clean up the burrs inside the end. So a little bit like that one there that I cut with a hacksaw. Just a scrape around the inside, make it a bit neater. But if you cut it with the PVC cutters, don't need it. Other than that, you just need a beverage of your choice. For the materials, pretty basic. 1 length of 20mm PVC, it's a 3 meter length. 1 length of 15mm PVC, 3 meter length as well. 6 20mm T-pieces, 4 20mm elbows, 2 45 elbows, 2 of these PVC snap clamps, 2 of the 15mm snap clamps, 2 20 to 15mm reducers, a 20mm end cap, and this 20mm 3-way, I think they call it, 3-way joint. I've labeled each of these joints with the size so you can tell what they are as I go through the video in case you're wondering what goes where. And there'll be a full cut list in the description as well, so you don't need to do any calculations. You just cut up all the pieces, lay it out like this, slap it together. Easy as. To cut all the pieces up, you can use a hacksaw, but it does get a bit jagged, so that's why I've got this little square edge steel thing, just to scrape around the inside to clean that out, which is a little bit annoying, and the cuts aren't all that square. It doesn't matter too much if they're slightly off square, but these PVC cutters, $17.50. You just clamp the pressure on there, and then I make sure you put a bit of pressure on so it starts cutting, and then you turn it so it scores around the pipe. Shank, done, nice neat cut. Once you've cut all your pieces out, you pretty much just start assembling it from the bottom up. I'll start with the 2 bottom rails that go across the width of it, a 20mm elbow on each end. I'm actually going to glue all this time while we do it. This will be the final assembly. It's easy just to push the pieces on the concrete to push them home. I wouldn't glue the 2 elbows on each end of the long piece first, because if you don't have them square and the glue goes off, it's going to sit a bit funny. So I'd start at the one corner and then work your way down this short side. Glue those other 2 pieces labelled short foot into the other 2 elbows. And then you want to make sure you're on a flat surface. This table should be flat enough. That's probably what's going to sit on half the time anyway. And then these are the two you want square. So put that on and get it square on the bench. Sticking up a little bit. There we go, one square. Same on the other side. There we go, sitting pretty flush. When we glue these bottom T-joints in here that start going vertical, we want to make sure that this bit at the top's assembled so it's square. Otherwise you might have these facing slightly in, slightly out. So we'll just leave them at the moment and we'll assemble the sides. There'll be two pieces named lower riser. They're the risers that go down the bottom here, and they go into one of the ends of the T-piece. Obviously it's going to go that way, so we'll glue those in. With those two done, you can take two of the 48mm long, 20mm diameter spigots, and we'll glue them into here. These make the pipe for the snap clamp to clip onto to hold the bottom rail. We can then glue the two middle risers into the top of these T-joints that go vertical. One. Two. Then we can glue the next T-joints on for the top rail. So in the same direction, into the bottom there. Just sit it on a flat surface and get the two edges of those T-pieces sitting flush on a bench. You should be close enough. Then we take the other two 48mm spigots. They're the last two of the 48s left. And we glue them into these top T-pieces. And this adapts it to that 20mm to 15mm reducing bush, so we can get that smaller size top rail. Then on those you can put the reducing coupling. It's pretty close, there's about 1 or 2mm gap in there just so you can tell it's home. Then in those goes the two 48mm 15mm spigots. To make sure this is all square before I glue the bottom T-pieces, I'm just going to dry fit all this together. So your snap clamps go onto those little spigots, top rail and your bottom rail snap in. You can see it's got a bit of flex there, so this is where you want to get it square. With that sitting square and everything, then you'll be able to glue all three sides of this and slap those in. You've got to do it pretty quickly because the glue goes off. So we're going to wish me luck. 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna go bang, bang, bang. I'll quickly put it on the ground, push down, and then we're gonna push that way. Probably the hardest bit. You've got about 30 seconds until the glue goes off. That. Make sure it's all home. It's a little bit stressful, but not that hard. It's all sitting pretty square. It'll be rock solid in a sec. Now we're on the home stretch. You'll have your two 44mm long 20mm spigots. These go on the top to go up to the handle. So put one in that side. One in that side. Then to get this square, we're probably going to glue the A-frames, these two pieces on the cut list labeled A-frame, into this top three-way joint. You sort of need to think about the orientation and which bits that matter if it locks in that position. For something like that, it doesn't matter, it's not directional. If that is out, it doesn't matter. Then this is going to come down to the 245s. We'll probably put the handrail in first. We can make sure the handrail is sitting horizontal. And the 20mm end cap on the end of that. To put these 45s on, it's probably easiest to lay it on a flat surface. So on this bench, glue one side, put that on the bottom here. And you've got to make sure it's facing inwards. From here, in. Put that on the bench and just sit it so it's square on the bench. Same with the other side. On, flat, facing inwards. Only two more joints to glue and we are done. Bit of glue on either side. Push that down hard. Push that down hard. And it pretty much sits itself square. I don't know how many minutes that was, but it didn't feel like it took that long. That is all your frame already done. All we need to do is drill the locating holes to put the split pins in, or zip ties or wire. So the reason you drill the holes is just these little snap clamps. They snap on, but they're not strong enough to hold reels of cable. So that snaps onto there. This is going to be the piece that stays on the frame. And then this is your top rail that just snaps in and out. Sort of like a toilet paper roll holder. So you just put them on, make sure they're hard up against that coupling. Get it sort of level. And then this is like a 3.5mm drill, depends on what size wire or clamp you're going to use. Split pin through. Spread it out. Then you do the same on all the other sides and the bottom as well for the 20mm rail. That's pretty much it. Then you can take your bottom rail, put it through one of these bigger ones. Snap that into there. Top rail, all these ones from Roadtech Marine that I mostly use are pretty good value for money. They're 50mm wide. If you go for super cheap, some of these bigger ones are 40mm wide. So I made it for the 50mm wide. So you're gonna have plenty of room. Also, depending what brand you get, some of them have a big diameter hole on this side, but the other side is smaller for some reason. Must be somewhere they mounted on some other cable thing. So I just take this step drill and just bang that through there. You've only got to get a 15mm tube through there, so it's easy. And you can throw all these on here, so I can go small diameter red black, 15 amp red black, 25 amp red black, and snap that in the top. I reckon that's pretty cool. Saves me running in and out to the shed to grab lengths of cable or trying to roll it off reels and having it spool off where it's still tangled. At least this you can spool it off square and it should come off pretty neat. Light, portable, cheap, holds plenty of cable. It's obviously my first prototype, so I'm keen to use it a few times. You can pick it up just fine. It's pretty stiff. I want to see it with 3 or 4 rolls of the bigger stuff on the bottom, a bit more weight, but I reckon it'll handle it just fine. There are some cable dispensers you can buy online, but most of them are wall mounted. Some of the ones that are portable hold like one big reel. I couldn't really find anything like this. And then most of them are at least $100 or more. This is like 60 bucks. If you've got the glue and some of the other tools and the cutters, less. If there's anything I missed in the instructions, just let me know in the comments and I can answer it down there. If you make one, let me know how you go. If you can see anything that's going to cause me an issue, let me know as well if you make one and it could be made better. Let me know, we'll do another one. If you like this video, I guarantee you're going to like the full aluminium toy hauler build that I'm doing, sitting outside on the driveway. I'll put a link to the playlist up here. Check that out.